Okay, welcome to part 2 of our filter method. So today, Ton gave me the spotlight. I had my hair done this weekend,
Oh my God.
just in preparation. Unfortunately, we're doing this through separate cameras so that we can show you on the instrument, as well as when we're doing it on the software. And so we couldn't do it through Zoom. Zoom gives me some skin filters, but unfortunately I can't do that today. So you're gonna have to see my zits. So basically what we did last time was we prepared filter papers. All right, and if you remember, we had a set of Wattman filter papers. We were going to do a calibration curve, so we're going to show you that through a quant method. And then we also are going to do a semi-quant where we did an ultra carry, and we basically what we did is we took an all-purpose like multi-element standard, an ICP standard, and so it has different levels for a set of different elements. So we put that on here, 250 microliters, and then we prepared the quant method, and we're going to show you on our system how we set those up and run samples. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so here's our software. This is a status screen that comes up. It's a live status screen showing you what's going on in the system. And today we're going to show you with the filter methods 2 different ways. One, quant, and then we call a semi-quant or a qual application. And so first we're going to start off with quant. So we have those Wattman filter papers in the front. Where basically what we would be doing to make a method is we would set up a brand new method. I'm going to call one up so that I'm not going to waste your guys' time. And basically you just follow through what we call this a flow bar or like application wizard. And essentially what we're going to be doing here is we are going to put in the elements that we're doing. For just the test purposes here, I'm going to do a lighter element and then one of the transition metals. So I got magnesium and cobalt in, right? And then I am going to fill in some simple information, okay? So with that, that's our volume and what filter we're using, so forth. Next logical thing is put in our standard. So we have some magnesium standard values in. We have from 100 ppm down to 1, and same with cobalt, just more actual points along there. All right. So with that, we're going to kind of look at default parameters. Right now, this method is going to be 2 minutes long, and what essentially you do is you collect scans to help you figure out and refine what these parameters here are. So the parameters are crystal, the counting time, background points. What we do with these scans is we determine where these are. So we just run quick scans. We can overlay them with a low material. Here's with cobalt. So here's our high. That's going to be compared to our low. And so you can see that in green here. We pick a background point. We pick the peak position, and then what we do is we collect counting time. Within that counting time, you can estimate how long or what's your detection limit going to be. So if I want to change the detection limit, go a little bit longer counting time, maybe 120 seconds at peak and 60 seconds at background, you'll see from that how our counting time or our detection limit changes. So depending on what we do there, we can tailor our method. Essentially what we do after that is we run standards. The system knows what standards you put in place. You'll select all, say okay, and it will set them up on the deck. And you saw that's exactly where we have our samples on the system. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get those running. They are going to collect that calibration, and then you'll be able to see that running on the system. And that's why we have the other camera set up. So here we go. So those samples are going to start loading up, and we're going to run all of those particular samples. We're not going to make you sit through all that. And depending on how long the method, can be, it may be 6 minutes long, it may be, 20 minutes long, depends on how many elements and how long you're collecting for. Okay, so our samples have, or our standards have run, and now all we do, it goes down to this menu here to calibration. We start looking at our calibration curves. You can see your result, you can see where our squared is. If we want, we can deselect a point. For maybe some reason it might be off the curve, we can recalculate. It's this easy, it knows which one there is, and then we can assess then that calibration and see if our R-squared's improved. All right, so after we do that, we basically just save both calibrations, and then you have a method, you're ready to run. Okay, so now we're ready to set our samples up to run. We can set up our semi-quant sample just on the fly as we're setting up the sample routine. There's a really easy way to do that. A couple different ways in the software. The easiest is that basically what we do is we call easy analysis. You see that picture on the deck, like you saw in the table. And what we're going to do for the first sample, and I'm going to drag it over to position B1, that's where our semi-quant sample was. We're going to go what we call easy scan. And there's actually a method on here for filters. All we have to do on that is put the name of the sample. I'm going to call that filter 1. Okay, we say what folder it's going to go into. And then we can analyze short, normal, or long time. You can have custom methods where we make them longer or have specific elements. But we can just do maybe like a 2-minute analysis time, or a 10-minute analysis time, or a 20-minute analysis time. So it all depends on how you want to run that. And then all we have to do in here is pick, because it's a filter method, it gives us the choices. Remember, Ton had talked about previously on the ultra carry, micro carry, well, they're all listed here as possible choices. So I'm going to pick in here ultra carry because that's what's on this instrument. It already knows the weight of that filter, and I'm going to tell it, well, I put on 250 microliters of material. So I say okay to that. I've already named it, so that one's ready to go, and we have a little green arrow key under start. After that, it's really just, hey, let's pick the 25 ppm sample under Quant. So I pick under my Quant method, and all that. Okay, so you can see that our analyses are complete. We have the analyzed results for both the Quant method, the 25 ppm check. It shows our intensities. If we click here, we'll see our results. We're getting 23 ppm for magnesium and 25 ppm for cobalt. So pretty good. And for a method that's just a minute or so long, you know, it's and much easier than running it in a sample cell. You know, it's really kind of the way to go. So then if we look at our semi-quant, so we had our multi-element standard, and essentially we see all the intensities here. If I go and right-click, we can see the full set of results. We'll see it as a coating weight, because that's what it is on the filter, and then it gives us the liquid concentration here. So then all we have to do is go in. We can change different settings if we want to see that as a certain compound, and our results are here, both liquid concentration and coating weight. And it's really as easy as that. Okay, so we hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you got something out of it and how to do filter methods. Stay tuned for the next G and T show, and we'll be coming to you probably in a couple days. So stay tuned.